Welcome back to Will It Shoe, the show where we make shoes out of stuff you probably shouldn't make shoes from. Today, we have a pretty cool one, actually. I'm excited about this anyway. Our friends down at Retribe, who are another sort of local small factory, have sent us a whole host of foraged tent material. What Retribe are doing is super cool and is basically a response to the horrific waste we see at the end of festival season every year. I'm sure you've all seen the photos post-festival of abandoned tents, well, abandoned everything really. People just leave the whole campsite. It's really not cool. If you're doing that, not cool. There is a sort of common myth that like, oh, they give them to the homeless or they sell them on, and that's just simply not true. But Retribe are really trying to make something useful out of all this stuff. So on their website, they have things like bags, bottle carriers, lunch bag, little chalk bags for climbing, roll mats for just, you know, little picnic blankety type things. So definitely go check them out. And massive thanks to Retribe for letting us have our play with this stuff. I don't have a load of details about what we're working with here, but I'm gonna guess either nylon or polyester, as probably 90% of tents are. It'd be really cool to get a nice old vintage like canvas tent in one day. But I mean, I know we've done canvas and it works, but I still think it would be cool. So yeah, hopefully we can help find another use for all those leftover tents and make some shoes out of all this waste. Nice and easy so far.
Yeah. Still is a textile, but much better than the rest. So it doesn't take too much time. This one will hold it.
Tutaj wałka nie zrobisz na tych bokach.
those were tents. First off, these are great. I think they've got that premium look that I'm always looking for. Sometimes I don't think it's enough for me that it turns into a shoe. I think it has to look like a really good wearable shoe. This is 100% that. Maybe we have just looked out with the color of the tent scraps we were sent, but I think a big part of this is just leaning into what's available. And when I say available, I've already mentioned at the start just how much horrific tent waste and stuff there is left over at festivals alone each year, and how little of it can actually be recycled or repurposed. So if this is one more way to repurpose a load of that crap into something that's actually usable and wearable, I am all for that. Style-wise, I can see they've gone for the bolsover over the Mela, and I think that was a great shout. I just think more details and a way to use up more little fabrics kind of sells the shoe a lot better than if it was just like the simple silhouette of the Mela. I'm also starting to realize, I don't think I know how many different colors of like laces and bits we have access to. I just assumed we had like white, brown, and black that go out on our production shoes, but they always seem to come from the factory with the perfect color lace. Here, obviously, like the color matched blue. There is a little mark here. I don't know if that was on the tent originally. Could just be a little bit of glue, but I don't want to damage them peeling it. Oh yeah, I've just made that worse. There's definitely a small element of these like around the edges where they look like a little bit rough, but I don't mind it. I think it's really leaning into that like made from waste, upcycled vibe that it isn't normally what I'd go for. You know, if things are being upcycled, I want them to look like something really finished and proper. But for some reason, this slightly rough edge, it's working for me here. I can't see how this shoe wouldn't hold up. Obviously, the way that we make things in the factory, we make them to be resolable so that they can be repaired and carry on going. And I think that's one of the big issues here, is that a lot of things aren't made to be repairable in the first place. They're not made with an end of life in mind. They're just made, sold, and then someone else's problem. And power to people like Lauren at Retribe who are taking that problem on board and trying to do something about it. We love to see that. This has been a super fun collaboration. I'd love to know what Lauren thinks. I'm gonna follow up with her after this and find out. And I'd also love to know what you think. So drop us a message in the comments. Have you ever had a broken tent that you didn't know what to do with? Have you ever dumped a tent at a festival thinking that it was gonna get given to a homeless person or that it was gonna get recycled and used somehow? Are you shocked to learn how little of that actually happens? Once you start reading about how much plastic actually gets recycled, it's pretty depressing. So there's some light evening reading for you, and I will leave you with that. Like and subscribe to see what we've got coming up next, and I will see you next time.